Howdy, guys, and welcome to night 55 of the Overnight Feeds recaps for Big Brother Season 24, and welcome to Cliff Notes. All right, after such a hectic, dramatic Sunday, we had more conversations that took place last night. Maybe not as crazy as Sundays, but certainly conversations worth talking about. And we had the veto ceremony, a lot riding on the veto ceremony and what happened yesterday. So let's get right into it. First of all, the veto ceremony itself. As expected, Michael has the veto. As expected, Michael pulled his duo partner, Brittany, off the block. So Michael and Brittany are both safe this week. Left Taylor up on the block. It was now up to Turner to nominate a replacement nominee. Now, the original plan going into this week had been to put up some pawn from the after party alliance, send Taylor out the door. Well, after everything that happened on Sunday, that's all out the door. And as a result, Turner ends up nominating Kyle. Yeah, Kyle, after the comments that were talked about, everything that was revealed on Sunday, it wasn't a huge surprise that Kyle got put up, even though Kyle and Turner at some point had declared a final two with each other. But Turner felt the pressure, put Kyle on the block. Almost certainly, Kyle is heading to the jury house on Thursday. Now, it's not 100%. Because we have had a little campaigning going on with Terence. Terence is the one that's really been pitching to save Kyle to send Taylor home. He thinks that there's different reasons. He's saying so it gives Kyle a chance to stay in the house and learn about what he did, grow as a person, all that. And that could be a component, but it's also a huge gameplay from Terence's standpoint. He certainly, Taylor wants Terence gone. Terence knows that. So he's been pitching to keep Kyle in the house. The problem is it's going to take 3 votes to vote out whoever gets voted out. Well, we know that Michael and Brittany are going to vote to save Taylor, which means voting out Kyle. So really Terence's hopes rest with flipping Monty to the other side and saving Kyle. Just don't think that's going to happen unless something really weird happens the rest of the week. I don't think that's going to happen. So we should see Kyle head out the door on Thursday, and then we'll have a reset of the game. We'll see what happens from that point on. There certainly was a lot of conversation about what does happen beyond Kyle, and that's what we're going to talk about this evening. All right, so let's talk about the live feeds. Get going late afternoon, early evening. We'll start off with Turner and Monty in the HOH room. Turner is mentioning this pitch that Terence gave to him about trying to keep Kyle in the house. Monty has realized that he would have to be the swing vote in order to make this happen. Monty's really not liking that. He feels like it puts some pressure on him. He feels like if he does that and then Brittany or Michael wins, or Taylor for that matter, perhaps, wins the next HOH, Monty could certainly be a target as a result of him flipping on the house, so to speak. So they have both decided that really there's some pros and cons to it, but when you weigh everything against each other, they've both decided that keeping Kyle would probably hurt their game. Another thing they talked about was that Joseph was in the pound. Well, now he's gone, but if Kyle stays in the house, everyone's going to be looking at Kyle and Monty and Turner still as kind of a tight 3, the bros and all of that, and may target them as a result of it. Whereas if Kyle's out the door, Turner, I think, says he doesn't think that they'll associate Turner and Monty as working as closely together as they would as if Kyle was still in the house. So there's a lot of reasons why they're thinking maybe from a gameplay standpoint, it's just time for Kyle to go. They also are talking about the fact that Terence does indeed want to keep Kyle for game reasons. Again, Terence was saying he'd give Kyle a chance to learn while he's in the house and all that. But he also knows that the other side is certainly going to put up Terence if they get the opportunity. They both are also talking about the way the information about Kyle's comments about a cookout 2.0, the way it was revealed. They're both agreeing, saying, yeah, 100%. It was Brittany and Michael just bringing those comments up strictly for gameplay reasons. They had a friend on the block. They were trying to protect him. I think it's Monty that says, you notice they didn't say anything until after the veto competition. They knew they were safe. if they'd said it before the veto, someone else had won veto and people maybe didn't believe what they were saying, it could have put him at risk. So they're both saying, yeah, 100%. It was a gameplay move by Michael and Brittany. Apparently, Terence called Michael and Brittany out a little bit on that, said, why did you sit on the information this long if you thought it was so important? So a lot of houses understanding that there's a lot of strategic moves taking place in this game right now. All right. They also are talking about Brittany and Michael, saying, look, after this week, if Kyle's gone, they really think Brittany and Michael, if they were to win HOH, and I keep leaving out Taylor, and I should do it, but Brittany, Michael, Taylor, any one of those three, they think that they would go after Terence and Alyssa if they won HOH. So Turner and Monty are feeling like if they go ahead and send Kyle out, it probably gives them safety for the next 2 weeks, protection, because there'll be other people that the other side will be going after. They are agreeing, however, that Michael is a huge threat to win this entire game. He's such a comp beast, and they truly feel like he's the biggest threat right now, and that they're going to get out Michael very first chance they get. Target number one. Later, in a different conversation, Monty's telling Michael that Terence tried to flip Brittany. This is talk. Again, Terence trying to flip Monty. Okay, I get that. Trying to flip Brittany, that's a heck of a move if he could ever make it happen. He's not gonna make it happen, but they're laughing about that he actually did try to flip Brittany. And I said Monty telling Michael, Monty telling Turner that Terence had tried to flip Brittany. They're both laughing about that. All right, we did have as crazy as everything was Sunday. They decided that it was a good time for a little rest and relaxation, or when Brittany's in the house, just straight up hypnosis. Although she's still not calling it that. They're calling it meditation. But Brittany did lead another meditation hypnosis session. I didn't watch a whole thing, but apparently Turner may have gotten very relaxed during the session itself. But they did that. Afterwards, we've got Terence and Alyssa. Didn't take long for Terence to get right back onto the campaign trail. Terence and Alyssa are talking. This is in the bathroom. Terence is saying, look, Monty kind of shot down the idea of keeping Kyle. Maybe we'll meet with him later, but first attempt didn't go so well. He's also letting Alyssa know that he had just earlier sat outside with Brittany, and Brittany was talking about how she hates people lying to her, and then saying, how much did Alyssa actually know about the leftovers? That she thinks that Alyssa knew a lot more than Alyssa was letting on. Terence is saying, I didn't tell her anything. I said, I didn't know. If she knew something, maybe, but I didn't know that she knew anything. So they're both going to try to keep that a secret, that Alyssa knew about it before she ever came back into the house after the split groups. Because Brittany's saying, I just can't stand people lying to me. Well, Brittany's done her fair share of lying to other people as well. All right. We do have, after that, the house guests all out by the hammock. Obviously not a lot, any game talk when they're all out there together, but everyone is out in the hammock except for Kyle, who is wandering around the house with a blanket around him before he eventually crashes under that blanket up in a bumper pool area. He's feeling very isolated at this point in time. All right, we've got Monty talking to Taylor. He's warning Taylor that Terence is trying to flip the vote, that he's talked to several different people trying to save Kyle. He's saying, I don't know exactly what it is, but Terence really wants you out, Taylor. And he assures her, he said, look, I'm not flipping the vote, and they need me, and I'm not flipping the vote, so you'll be good, Taylor. I just wanted you to know what was going on. But he does mention to Taylor as well. He says, look, I am worried about Michael, and I hope you understand, we've kind of had this final four, you and me and Michael and Brittany, the insiders from last week. He says, I know we've got that final four, and I don't want to go against that, but I am worried about Michael, and I just need to let you know that first chance I get, I'm going to try to take him out, and I hope you and Brittany don't hold that against me, and you understand. And Taylor's saying, yeah, no, I get it completely. So he's letting her know that he does want to go after Michael if he gets the opportunity. And again, he does mention this final four about himself, Taylor, Michael, and Brittany doing everything they can unless he gets a chance to go after Michael. And I don't blame them. We're getting to the end game. Someone better go after Michael while they have the opportunity because they aren't going to have that many remaining. All right, again, we have all of the house guests in the backyard except for Terence and Kyle in the car bedroom. Terence is talking to Kyle right here. Terence is talking to Kyle about a decision of maybe keeping him in the house, letting him grow, letting him learn from what happened, and doing that instead of just evicting him. Now, he does tell Kyle, he says, look, just so you know, I may be the only person in this house that's truly thinking about this. It's not like everyone else is. He says, but I think it could be beneficial. And so he is telling Kyle that. There's a lot of talk. Terence is just trying to help Kyle out. I think there's several things. One, certainly there's a gameplay component, but I also think it truly is him seeing Kyle, what happened, hoping that he can provide a little education and knowledge and everything else, and just a shoulder as well. So he's talking to Kyle about forgiveness. He's giving him some insight, some information about Black culture. He's suggesting to Kyle that Kyle probably ought to talk and learn while he can from the other people in the house. He's saying, ask whatever questions you want. There's no dumb questions. Learn what you can about everything. And Kyle's response saying, look, I know I made some mistakes and all that. And yeah, I want to do that. I'm afraid if I ask a question, it may be the wrong question. It'll make it even worse. And Terence saying, just ask, just do everything you can to learn. That's what we're here for. So he's talking about that. At one point, Terence is talking about the whole this whole idea that Kyle was worried about a Cookout 2.0 forming and all that. And Terence is saying, look, he's explaining why the Cookout last year was such a big deal, why it was so important. He's saying, but look, when we came into the house this year, he said, I looked around and we all pretty much said, yeah, there's not going to be a second year of the Cookout. It just wasn't going to happen. So it was a long conversation. I had 45 minutes, maybe even closer to an hour. And it was primarily Terence talking to Kyle, but I think his heart was in the right place. And again, just trying to help Kyle out and teach him a little bit. And Kyle seemed very receptive and grateful as well. All right, we've got Alyssa in the bathroom. A little bit later, Alyssa got called to the diary room, so she comes in to the bathroom first before she goes to the diary room. She sees Kyle there. He tells her it's been the worst day of his life. Says he had a major panic attack. It's never happened before. He felt like he couldn't even breathe. She goes over, hugs him, says, all right, if that happens again, put ice on your chest. That'll help. Oh, and I've got to go to the diary room, so I'll see you later. So yeah, it was Kyle seemed like he really wanted to have an in-depth conversation. Alyssa, not so much. Now, she did have to go to the diary room, so there was some reasoning for it. But yeah, she pretty much said, here's some ice, or go get some ice. You'll be good. I'm out of here. So we had that happen. All right, we got Turner and Alyssa talking upstairs in the HOH room. Turner is saying that Brittany has heard that Kyle was the one to spill the beans about the leftovers. And I actually think, if I recall, I think he told Monty this, let it be known. Well, now the word's gotten back to Brittany as well that it wasn't Joseph, that Joseph wasn't the one that burned them. It was Kyle that gave that information out. Alyssa is in turn saying that Brittany has been questioning her a lot about how much she knew about the leftovers, when she knew about it. Remember, Brittany already said she doesn't like a lot of people lying to her. Alyssa's saying, I'm just trying to say that I had a clue that maybe something was up, but I didn't really know until you told me, and trying to play it on the sly a little bit. They both are saying that they just don't like talking to Michael and Brittany ever, because no matter what they say, Michael and Brittany spin it around to somehow represent something else, that they're always prying for information that they don't always want to give them. And they would just like to avoid talking to Michael and Brittany completely if they can. Turner, a couple little complaints about Kyle while they're talking to each other. Turner's complaining that Kyle said in front of everyone that he and Turner had a final two. And Turner's saying, why did he say that? He could have just said we were kind of tight working together, but apparently Kyle, and apparently there was some kind of house meeting at some point in time. We did not see it on the feeds, but Kyle, I guess, had talked to everyone. I don't know if it was then or if it was during his speech for the veto ceremony. I'm not really sure where, but at some point Kyle said, yeah, final two with Turner, which Turner did not appreciate. Alyssa's complaining that, and I think this may have been at the veto ceremony, complaining that Kyle had referred to her as his showmance. and not as his girlfriend. And she says, yeah, showman sounds kind of fake. I don't know why he wouldn't say girlfriend and all of that. And she does say that she has stood up for him multiple times, but really the only time that Kyle has ever stood up for her was when he didn't use a veto on her. The rest of the time, he's just not really done a lot for her. So yeah, she mentions the fact that they announced or told each other they loved each other, and 2 weeks ago they declared girlfriend, boyfriend, and all that. But she certainly seems to be doing what she can to distance herself from Kyle, realizing that his time in his house is short. All right, we've got Alyssa, Kyle, and Turner in the HOH room. So no game talk. The main thing I want to point out is Turner's scared of babies. Didn't know that until now. Turner says that since he's been grown, that he has never been within 5 feet of a baby. He's never held a baby. He's never talked to a baby. He's never even been close to a baby. Someone points out, says, yeah, you probably passed within 5 feet of a baby at a grocery store or something. He said, well, yeah, maybe, but in terms of interactions, he's never interacted with a baby. Yeah, that's kind of funny. As a parent, it's hard for me to comprehend. But yeah, Turner, we need to go hand you a baby at finale night and let you get a whole new experience. All right, he says he's scared of him. Later, Brittany comes in, and certainly there's no game talk taking place when Brittany's up in the HOH room with them. But after she leaves a little while later, Alyssa and Turner both agree that Brittany just came up to spy. She just wanted to check out on people, see what they were talking about. She's making her rounds. All right, we've got Brittany and Taylor in the kitchen. Brittany is talking about the fact to Taylor, saying, look, if we can go to Final Four, then it becomes an entirely different game at that point. So they're looking ahead to this Final Four opportunity. I've got to say, Brittany and Michael have always been tight, and they'll continue to be so. But Brittany and Taylor, they might as well just declare Final Two as well, because these two continue to seem to get closer and closer to one another. And so they're having this conversation about making it to Final Four. Later, they're in the hammock in the backyard, and Brittany's crying a little bit. Not a lot, just some tears and all that. But she's talking about the fact that it seems like everyone is against Michael. Everyone's piling up against Michael. Well, yeah, that kind of happens when you become a comp beast like he is. But she's hating that has happened. Taylor saying, look, it's just the way the game's played. You shouldn't be surprised that they're kind of doing that. But she said, I know. And then she also says, well, at least I do have kind of a shield for me. Yeah, Michael definitely is the bigger target for Brittany. So she is recognizing that he represents a shield, but that he is a huge target, which makes her a bit of a target as well. Brittany does at one point say, but at least Taylor, you and I have each other. Regardless of what happens with Michael, we've got each other. Again, these two are just getting tighter and tighter together. All right, and then finally, we've got Turner talking to Monty. Turner's nervous. He says, I keep trying to talk to Michael and Brittany. And, well, first of all, Turner's a little perturbed that he's not part of the Final Four. Monty's saying, the Final Four, you're not part of it, Turner. And so Turner's aware of this Final Four of the insiders and a little perturbed about it. And Monty's saying, look, it's not anything against you. It just became convenient because you were outside. The four of us were inside, so it was easy to say that. And so don't be offended that you're not part of the Final Four. It's just because of the outsider-insider situation we had last week. But he is telling Turner about that. Turner is nervous because he says every time he talks to Michael and Brittany, they won't say who they want out next week. Now, everyone has pledged that they're going to protect Turner, that because Turner put up Kyle, that bought him a week of safety. And internal conversations between Taylor and Monty, others, they're all basically saying that, we're not going to go after Turner because he did what he did. But Turner doesn't necessarily know that. And Turner's saying, I'm nervous because they won't say who they want out next week. Yeah, they promised me safety, but they won't actually give out names of who they want out. And he says that they also won't tell him if they're still on board with the leftovers. Again, they would love to see Terence and Alyssa as the next two targets. So if Michael and Brittany are still on board with the leftovers, then you should go after Alyssa and Terence. They've got 2 weeks of safety and all that. But Turner's saying they won't tell me if they're still with the leftovers or if plans have changed, if there may be other situations afoot. So Turner certainly still feeling vulnerable, knowing that he can't compete for HOH next week, and that's got him a little nervous. But Monty, at one point, I think this is an earlier conversation, also pointed out, said, look, here's the deal. He said, it's not that I'm going to throw HOH because I'm not going to do that. You've thrown enough of them, Monty. I hope not. But he said, it's not that I'm going to throw HOH. He said, but if Michael was to win veto or win HOH this week, it might not be the worst situation because he said, hopefully he's going to go after Terence or Alyssa and we're good. And then Michael can't compete in the following HOH. So that gives us an opportunity to maybe go after him at that point in time. So they're trying to see the best possible scenarios taking place going forward. But again, if at this point in time, Michael needs to count on either himself, Brittany, or Taylor winning the rest of the HOHs, or at least winning the veto when you don't do that, flip-flopping between the two, because otherwise there's a lot of people that are going after Michael for good reason. And there you have it, guys. I think the house guests were in bed by 3 o'clock or so. So a little less crazy than the night before. But again, everyone's looking forward to what happens after this eviction. Well, except Terence, who's very focused on this week and trying to save Kyle. But everyone else looking forward to the weeks following. Who are they going to be tightest with? Who are their biggest threats, targets, etc.? They'll continue to hash that out over the next day or two until Kyle heads out the door. And then it all comes down to who wins this next HOH. And it starts all over again. Guys, y'all have a fantastic Tuesday. Enjoy your rest of your day. I will be back tomorrow to give you any updates that happen overnight. Until then, SKD 143. Cheers, my friends.